Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? Yes, we're coming up on the 4th of July. We want to be pumped for the 4th of July. And happy birthday to America, 249 years. Let me put a shout out, if I could, right now, guys, right now, to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. You probably think your 401k is safe and that it's growing and that it'll be enough for your retirement. But what if it's not? Here's the truth. Your 401k was never designed to make you wealthy. No, it was created in a corporate boardroom to shift the retirement cost and investment risk onto you. Designed to keep your money trapped, exposed to Wall Street crashes and inflations and the uncertainty of a market that you can't even control. Until now, Americans are taking back control by turning to real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investment wants to help thousands of people protect their future by converting part of your retirement savings into physical gold. Gold, it's proven. Gold, a biblical currency, has stood the test of time. And you can go talk to Noble Gold today and learn just how safe and easy it is to roll over that 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without any penalties or any headaches. Just go right now. Click on that link below this video. Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. And if you qualify, they'll give you 2 5-ounce silver coins called the Silver America the Beautiful coins. Unbelievable. Don't miss it. You'll be glad that you did. All right. Guys, Gangsta to Glory. I interviewed, along with my son, Paul Jr., we interviewed Mondo Dega. Okay. He's the adopted son of Jim Bakker and one of the co-hosts of the Jim Bakker Show. He also has his own show called The Mondo Show. We interviewed him on a podcast that airs at 6 p.m. Eastern at the Paul Begley podcast channel. Let me just grab that right now. The Paul Begley podcast channel, okay? You can go there right on YouTube, or you can listen to it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and everywhere podcasts are found. Or you can watch it on the Paul Begley podcast channel. It is an incredible 1-hour interview. This podcast, you hear the life story of Mondo Dega, how he went from being a gangsta to the glory. But why was he a gangster? Why did he turn to the streets? Well, when you hear his story, when you hear the sadness of the rejection, the beatdown of his personal life, and as a little boy trying to make it in this cruel world, when you hear his story, you'll understand his praise. Matter of fact, can I play a little bit right now? I'd like to play just a little bit, just a clip, okay? Just a clip. But man, I cry twice in this interview. He breaks down once, I break down twice. It was that emotional. It was that amazing. And I can't wait to be with Mondo as I'm headed to the Jim Bakker. And I'll give you my itinerary here. At least I'll let you know when I'm going to be preaching at the Jim Bakker at Morningside on Thursday night, okay? Thursday evening before I go live with Mike from Around the World. Okay, but here we go. Here's just a taste of from the Mondo, from the interview podcast we did with Mondo. Okay, here we go.
That was the birth of understanding what it was to be a gangster.
Hang on, I think I've got echo.
The birth of understanding what it was to be a gangster.
Okay, hang on, all right. We're going to fix this. I'm going to fix it right now. I forgot. You got to have that setting correct when you do this. But I can do it. I can do it. We can do all things through Christ. Okay, because I don't want you to miss this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Gang member, the OGs, the leaders of the gang, discipline a younger member of the gang for breaking code. But this time, instead of feeling fear, I felt empowered. And I felt like if that's what I need to do in order to regain power and respect, even at 10 years old, I'm thinking I don't want ever to have a place where someone can control me and control my destiny. And if I have to beat somebody to earn respect, then I want to be a part of that. That was the birth of understanding what it was to be a gang member. The OGs, the leaders of the gang, discipline a younger member of the gang for breaking code. But this time, instead of feeling fear, I felt empowered. And I felt like if that's what I need to do in order to regain power and respect, even at 10 years old, I'm thinking I don't want ever to have a place where someone can control me and control my destiny. And if I have to beat somebody to earn respect, then I want to be a part of that.
So, again, I can't tell you this when he tells you his whole story, what happened to him, what happened to his family, to his mother, to the things that took place in his life as a little boy. And then he was, basically dumped into the streets, a 10-year-old little boy. And in the rough streets of LA, and how he had to survive, and he knew nothing about Jesus. He knew nothing about God. He didn't even believe there was a God. If you had seen the hell he had been through as a child, this story is unbelievable. And we interview him in this podcast. That podcast starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, okay? In about an hour. At 6 p.m. Eastern. At 6 p.m. Eastern on the Paul Begley podcast. It is an incredible interview. Like I said, during the interview, and my son and I are interviewing Mondo. Mondo has a brand new book out called My Crazy Life, how he goes from a gangsta to the glory, from a gangsta to grace. His testimony is incredible. The life he was going through and how in the world, the miracle of how he found Jesus, and then the miracle of how he ended up in a homeless shelter and met Jim Bakker. And they became personal friends after Jim Bakker got out of prison. This is an incredible story, and now they are reaching millions of people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Mondo is the real deal, guys. He's the real deal. And like I said, I break down twice in this, and he breaks down once. And I'm telling you, it's one of the most emotional interviews I've ever done. I can't wait for you to watch it. And, oh, by the way, it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Paul Begley podcast channel, not my main channel, not this channel, okay? The Paul Begley podcast channel. So start finding it right now so that you'll be ready. And when it goes live, it'll go live at 6 p.m. There will also be a chat room. That way you can be in the chat room as well and fellowshipping with your other brothers and sisters in Christ in this incredible podcast. It is epic, and I mean that. So it's going to be powerful. Tomorrow I'll be traveling along with Israel Hall. We'll be headed to Branson, Missouri. I'll be at Morningside, USA. I'm going to get there late tomorrow. But then on Thursday morning, at 11 a.m., they'll be taping 4 straight 30-minute television shows. And the guest is Perry Stone. Okay, Perry Stone will be the guest for those 4 shows, those 4 tapings. And I'll be there as well as Israel Hall. We'll be right there on the front row. They've said they got reserved seating for us. So we'll be there for those 4 shows. And then that evening, I'll be preaching at 6:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Central. I'll be preaching the service and giving altar call and praying with the people and whatever the Lord wants us to do. And then as soon as I finish, I will go to my room and go live with the broadcast. Sister Heidi is going to start that broadcast. She'll start it, and then I'll come and join her. And then Mike from around the world will join us. Okay, so it should be a great show. That's tomorrow. That's Thursday night, so don't miss it. It'll start normal time. So even though I'll be preaching at Jim Bakker's and getting done, 9:30, let's say Eastern, Heidi will have already started the show, and I'll come and join her when I'm done preaching. And then Mike from around the world will come join us. Okay. So it'll be a great show Thursday night. And then let me tell you what I'm doing Friday. Friday on the 4th of July, I will be at the Jim Bakker, again, at Morningside. So if you want to meet me Thursday morning, you can meet me. Perry Stone will be doing taping the 4 30-minute shows, but Israel Hall and I will be right there in the crowd with you. Love to meet you. Okay. Love to meet you Thursday morning. And if you stay for the evening, I'd love for you to be in the crowd as I preach the message Thursday evening. Then on Friday at 11 o'clock, so we come early because they start taping at 11, okay? You want to be already there a half hour early if you can get there. It's free. Be in the studio audience on the 4th of July. The taping begins at 11 a.m. At 11 a.m. on Friday, July 4th. There's 4 30-minute shows. I'll be on the first show with Pastor Steve Ciccalante and Colonel David Giamona. The three of us will be being interviewed by Jim Bakker and Ricky Baker and all the team there, Mondo probably. And then the second 30-minute show, I'll be the guest. I'm the only one. I'll be the only guest on the second show starting at 11:30, the taping. The third show taping will start at 12 noon. The guest will be Colonel David Giamona. He'll be the only one. And then the last show starting at 12:30, and this is all Central Time. It's all Central Time because it's in Arkansas. I'll be a guest again with Pastor Steve Ciccalante and Colonel David Giamona. So I'm going to be taping 3 30-minute shows out of 4 on the 4th of July, starting at 11 a.m. Central, Arkansas, Ozark time, okay? Ozark time. And then that night, there will be a service. The praise and worship starts. Actually, there's going to be a picnic for everybody with musical guests, the Branson Gospel Singing Songwriters Association. There'll be a picnic from 1 to 3, okay? And then at 6 o'clock, praise and worship will start Friday night with the musical guests, the Copeland sisters, and then the guest speaker Friday night is Pastor Steve Ciccalante. So I'm preaching Thursday night. Steve Ciccalante is preaching Friday night. I'm going to be on 3 television shows on Friday morning. Okay, so this is a great chance to meet me, meet Israel Hall, meet Steve Ciccalante, meet Colonel David Giamona. Perry Stone will be there on Thursday morning, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're celebrating 65 years. Jim Bakker, 65 years in the ministry. Okay, so he's one of the longest television ministries of all time. Actually, he's called the grandfather of Christian TV. He started actually same time. The guys that started all around the same time was Jim Bakker, Dr. Lester Sumrall, Pat Robinson, and then Jimmy Swaggart, and then on and on and on after that. But Jim Bakker, I think, has been on television now because Pat Robinson has died and Dr. Sumrall died. Jim Bakker is the longest running television ministry. He's been on television longer than anyone else in history, Christian television. So one of the founders of Christian television. So it's really be good. I'm really honored to be asked to be on 3 television shows with him, taping to celebrate his 65 years. It is a great honor for me. And to be asked to preach Thursday night is a tremendous honor for me at Morningside, USA. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to bring a fresh word from the Lord, a right now word, of course. And so it's going to be good. But again, the Gangsta, From Gangsta to Glory. It's going to be a great podcast that starts at my Paul Begley podcast channel. You want to go find it right now. Paul Begley podcast channel. No, Jim Bakker's not a rich evangelist, to be honest with you. He lived 9 years in a homeless shelter. No, he's not. And he has built churches all over the world. He has a home. He built a home for unwed mothers right there on the grounds. It's called Lori's House. They just celebrated because one of the girls just gave birth to their 50th baby. He takes unwed mothers and they stay there till they have their child, and then they stay 2 more years, and they get their GEDs or they get their education, and they're provided for to help. Instead of giving the babies up for abortion, they stay there and they give birth to these children, and there's schooling for the children, or there's preschool, the whole thing. It's an incredible. And he also set up in the country of Moldova, which is right there next to Ukraine, on the border of Ukraine. Jim Bakker was able to purchase an old hotel, which was really nice, but it was abandoned because the war was getting ready to break out. He bought it, and he has it open for refugees fleeing Ukraine into Moldova, and they can go there and stay. And of course, he supplies it with food and medical supplies and all that. In the war, these are refugees that fled Ukraine that are living just across the border in Moldova. That's just a couple things he's done, not counting all the other missionary work he does around the world. No, Jim Bakker is just a really humble man. And when you get to know him, and this is why it's sad, because the media portrayed him in one light. They really did. He admits there was things that went wrong in that, okay, before his time when he was sent to prison. He admits that. He's written a book about it called I Am Wrong. I Was Wrong. He repented of all that. He did his 5 years in prison. He got out, and he got sent to prison for things he didn't do. He was the fall guy. Somebody had to be the fall guy. And, but he still said, at the end of the day, I'm the guy in charge. So I'll be the guy. But after he turned his life around, after he got out of prison, he's done more for the gospel of Jesus Christ than 1,000 men will do in a lifetime. And so you got to give him a lot of credit for that. It's an incredible comeback. You talk about the comeback kid, great guy, wonderful guy, him and his wife, great people. And you know who she is? She's the niece of Billy Graham. She is Billy Graham's niece. And she also hit rock bottom. And that's how they met. They met at the Dream Center, the big, huge Dream Center, homeless center there in Los Angeles, California. That's where Mondo met them, okay, because Mondo was homeless. And who owns the Dream Center? Well, a guy named Tommy Barnett. And if you know anything about Pastor Tommy Barnett, amazing man of God out of Arizona, out of the Phoenix, or out of the Tucson. I think he's out of the Tucson area, maybe the Phoenix, but I think it's Tucson. And he owns the Dream Center there in downtown Los Angeles. They feed 2,000 homeless people a day. Every day they feed 2,000 people off the streets. And then, of course, there's a couple hundred people who live there. And then they're taught Bible study. And that's what Jim Bakker did. When he got out of prison, he lived 9 years in the homeless center at the Dream Center in Los Angeles. And he didn't have nowhere to go. And so he lived there. And Tommy Barnett said, I need you to teach Bible study. And he did. He taught Bible study for the homeless as the people came to eat, and for those that stayed there. And he taught Bible study every day during his 9 years of bringing himself back in. And he did all that before he ever went back on television. So it's a great story. It's a great story. And that's what grace is all about. If we don't have if people didn't have grace, if we couldn't forgive each other and show grace to each other, then what are we? You saw the Dream Center on the news yesterday. That's cool, Terry. Yeah. I've been there. Me and Heidi went there. We went there. We spent a day there. And I was just blown away at the amazing work that goes on there. It's truly is a great ministry. Anyway, Mondo Dega wrote a book called My Crazy Life. If you haven't got a copy of it, you need to and read it. It will break you down. You will do nothing but just break down in tears and then praise God for the miracle of God's grace. Here he is.
That was the birth of understanding what it was to be a gang member. The OGs, the leaders of the gang, discipline a younger member of the gang for breaking code. But this time, instead of feeling fear, I felt empowered. And I felt like if that's what I need to do in order to regain power and respect, even at 10 years old, I'm thinking I don't want ever to have a place where someone can control me and control my destiny. And if I have to beat somebody to earn respect, then I want to be a part of that.
So he tells you he had, here he is. He's thrown in the streets at the age of 10, and he joins the gang in the neighborhood, and they take him in, but they beat him down. As a way of saying, okay, you're going to be part of the gang, you're going to be part of us. And they beat him down, a 10-year-old little boy. And they would really work him over. And this is how they brought him along. And until he found Jesus. And thank God he did. Because a lot of his gang members that were with him are dead. And the ones that aren't dead are in prison. Except for Mondo. It is a story of absolute miraculous mercy, and how God did that. So don't miss this podcast. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Paul Begley podcast channel. So you want to go right now up there in that search bar. I'm gonna get off here, and you want to find Paul Begley podcast, and you want to click it, and you want to start searching for it. Okay, because it's a channel, and YouTube doesn't promote it. You have to find it. Keep looking and looking. You will find it. And that broadcast starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. And when it goes live, there will also be a chat room, a live chat room. So as you're watching this podcast, you can also be in the chat room, fellowshipping one with another. Okay. So, all right, guys. God bless all of you. I love you guys. And I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. I'm telling you, folks, we're absolutely living in the last days. Are you saved? Jesus wants to save you, and he wants to do more than just save you. He wants to empower you with the love of God, with the gospel, absolutely, with the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm telling you right now, I'm excited about all. And you know what? There's some other things that's coming. I'm excited. We're going to be doing a webinar. Oh my Lord, I forgot to tell you that. You still can't get it. You can't get a ticket to it yet. We haven't even put it up on the website yet. But I'll just tell you the name of the webinar we're going to do in July 25th. July 25th. The webinar is called Silencing the Serpent. What? Silencing the Serpent. It will be there will be in this webinar, you'll learn how to overcome addictions. We've got special speakers coming in that can help people overcome gambling addictions, overcome porn addictions, overcome alcohol addictions, how to overcome all types of demonic oppression, suicidal thoughts, and high anxieties. And actually, there'll be these different speakers, and Heidi's going to be doing one of those presentations. It's going to be incredible. So will Bishop Larry Ragland, but also, and some other people. We're getting them right now. We're lining them up, and I'll be doing them on the global demonic spirit trying to overtake the globe. And what is it? And Mike from the world will be in that. But get this. Silencing the Serpent. This is I'm going to be teaching on authority, your power. And so all of them, I mean, there's just tremendous teachers, okay, coming into this. But also, Paul Jr. and I we're going to open up to interview the audience. If you've overcome some type of addiction, we want to hear your story. We're going to interview people. If you've overcome addiction, or you've overcome fear, or you've had to overcome whatever it may have been, and you want to give your testimony, it's going to be encouraging and powerful for other folks to hear how God delivers. God definitely delivers. He can do it all if we'll just trust him. All right. So God bless all of you. See you guys. Be at the Paul Begley podcast channel. Starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we'll be back with more right here on the coming apocalypse.